This is a meditation on stillness. Stillness isn't a pleasant state of mind. When we have stillness, we have clarity. When we have stillness, the body can enter into rest and healing and can release beneficial hormones. When we have stillness, we have the power to respond to the situations around us. into that state of stillness that is your natural spiritual state. And now I'm going to invite you to inhale deeply. And as you exhale, allow yourself to relax twice as deeply. Feeling yourself enter into that sacred peace that is the soul. And again, breathe in slowly. And breathe out. And as you do, you feel yourself again relax twice as deeply. Going deeper and deeper into that sacred silence of the soul. And right now you feel like your mind is as calm and quiet as a mountain lake in the morning. Allow that feeling of calmness to pour over every cell, to relax every muscle, to restore your natural sense of well-being and inner comfort and stillness. And again, take a nice breath in and breathe out. And as you do, your experience of stillness doubles. You keep going deeply into that sacred silence. And in this space, it's easy to feel that you are more than the body. It's easy to feel that you are in this world of form and matter, but yet separate, as if you're suspended in this world of form. A spiritual being emanating the vibrations of peace throughout the planet. Just keep breathing in and feeling that stillness. Allow it to refresh you, to renew you, to remind you of who you truly are. As still and quiet and calm as that mountain lake. And now take another deep breath. And as you exhale, allow yourself to go one step deeper into that sacred silence. And feel your stillness radiate into the world around you, soothing other minds and other hearts, connecting with every soul in the universe. Bringing that calm to the world around you. Continuing to breathe in and out. Deeply and slowly. And now begin to wiggle your toes and fingers. And get ready to return to the world of form and sights and sounds. But when you return today, you return with a sense of stillness and calm. And you can return to this place of quiet whenever you wish. Through simply slowing down your breath and reminding yourself, I am peace. I am calm. I am stillness. To parent the mind means that I respond to my own thoughts with two things. One is presence, and the other is care. The quality of presence makes me attentive. It makes me aware of what I am thinking and feeling inside, and the way that a mother would be concerned about what their own child is thinking or feeling. It means that I pay attention to my thoughts. And care is the ability to respond to what I notice in the mind. It's the capacity of the soul to guide the mind back to a place of comfort and peace when there is some kind of pain in the soul. Take a moment now to become completely still. To become as quiet as the moon and the sky. Letting go of the sound of thoughts. Letting go of the sound of the world as you slip into a space of deep silence. Just allow that silence to fill your being, to emanate inside of you the way the moonlight emanates through the sky. And ask yourself right now, what are you feeling? Is there any unrest? Is there any worry in life? Is there any doubt in your mind that could use some comforting? And imagine if you were someone looking after a child that felt those same thoughts. Would you just neglect the child? Or would you respond with wisdom, with truth, with words of comfort? So accessing that deep place of love, what could you say to yourself right now to comfort that part of you that feels fear or doubt or pain? Imagining that voice of fear or doubt or pain like a small child that needs some truth or consolation. From your silent, wise space, what would you say to bring comfort to the mind? Or maybe you just bring a pure energy of love to that part of you that feels that fear. To parent the mind means that first I have the presence to pay attention and to notice when the mind feels discomfort or pain or hurt. And the second step of parenting the mind is to care enough to respond with consolation, with a thought, something as simple as a pure thought of wisdom or truth, to console that part.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Silicon Valley BRAHMAKUMARIS, a shift from stressful to peaceful parenting class. A very warm and hearty welcome. I will be the facilitator of this next 4 weeks course to shift really from stressful to peaceful parenting. Just a quick introduction. I am Meghna. I've been associated with BRAHMAKUMARIS for the last 6 years, and their teaching and Raj Yoga meditation has brought a lot of beautiful improvements in my personal life, work life, and also made me a better parent. And that is what has inspired me to share this knowledge in many places, including here. So I consider myself to be very fortunate to be able to come and share what has helped me and my family. This class, just kind of going over a quick format, is that we will start off with a few minutes of meditation, guided meditation. No prior experience is needed. I will give a brief kind of like tips on how we can practice this. And the format of the class is basically really discussion based, where I will throw a bunch of ideas, ask your input, encourage you to participate, and feel free to ask your questions as they come, arise in your mind. Or if you would like to save them towards the end, that's fine too. And we will we will also end the class with a 1 or 2 minute meditation. Now, meditation, the reason we kind of stress a lot on beginning and the end is because it really helps in absorbing the content better. Plus, it's the time to really relax and absorb beautiful positive knowledge. And meditation is a beautiful medium to relax not only the mind but also the body. The body also completely relaxes when the mind relaxes. So quick tips on the meditation itself. For me, at least, what has helped the most is visualization in meditation. A lot of times meditation is done in a very robotic manner, and the heart is not at all activated, and heart is going in the past, present, everywhere it is running around, and we are trying to focus. It becomes very hard. So we need to engage the heart too. So when we create visuals of the thoughts, this Raj Yoga meditation is a thought-based meditation where I will say some thoughts out loud. Obviously, the thoughts have many beautiful words. As the words come, as the thought becomes clear, create a picture about it. For example, peaceful soul. I am a peaceful being could be you visualizing, you walking in a beautiful place, some maybe your favorite vacation place, or maybe your hometown, somewhere where you're walking and you're literally seeing peace in your face. It could be rainbow, it could be sunrise, whatever that picture that depicts peace to you, bring that up. The heart, when it looks at pictures, it starts activating, emotions start emerging. Meditation is not boring anymore. It becomes a powerful experience. And for me, at least, I practice this every day. It's been a religion for quite a few years now. The peace that I experience early in the morning typically will last with me throughout the day. It is such a powerful thing. Few minutes of early morning meditation, if you can experience peace, it will keep you calm through an extremely busy and chaotic day. That's been my experience. So with that simple tip, I will play some background music in on my phone. And with that, if you're not able to hear it or something, feel free to put on your own music, but you should be able to hear my thoughts. So it's up to you if you want to play another music on your own. Let me go ahead and share my screen, and then we can get started with the meditation. So, all right, let's get going now. It's time to get some real rest for the mind and the body. So let's sit comfortably, feet on the ground, back straight, and body as still as possible. Just for a few minutes, let go of the past, home, work, people. Let it all go. And let's fly away to a far off place, high up in the mountains. And let's absorb the beauty around us. The clear blue sky, the orange light of the sun setting, the mild fragrance of the wildflowers, the gentle breeze blowing away my hair. Huge mountains all over. Nature at its best. It is in solitude that I can see the goodness, the beauty that exists within me. Nature appeals to me because it reflects the beauty within me. The clear blue sky is reflecting my quality of being honest, transparent, The light of the sun is a reminder of the wisdom, the inner voice, the intuition that exists within me. The fragrance of the flower is the fragrance of love in my heart for every being. The gentleness of the breeze is a reflection of my soft personality. The gentleness in how I handle every creature. The tall, humongous mountain are a reminder of my courage, boldness, strength. Every ounce of the nature says, I am beautiful. I bow down to you, nature. I accept. I wholeheartedly accept that I am beautiful inside out. Every being in this webinar is filled with divinity and vitality. Every being in my city is filled with divinity and vitality. Every being in our world is filled with divinity and vitality. Thank you, my dear God, for making me divine and giving me a beautiful life. Welcome everyone to BRAHMAKUMARIS, shifting from stressful to peaceful parenting. So we will get started now with the class. Hopefully the meditation was easy to practice or follow along, but happy to answer any questions if you may have. So feel free to ask them. So today's class, we will focus a lot more on really understanding stress. What does it really mean? Because this word I feel is getting overused. It is used even by toddlers very easily these days. And it just started picking up, this word started picking up a lot in 80s. It wasn't really used as much. Stress was not used as much before, but it's been exponentially, the usage of it is rising. Indeed, many of us are feeling the stress, and that is why this word has become so popular. So let's try to understand what stress is. So highly encourage you all to participate. In physics, growing up in school, in physics, science, we understood what stress really means. Can anybody help me with that answer? In physics, how did we define stress? In science, how is it defined? Scientifically, on matter, how is stress defined?
Forced by resilience.
Yes, it's basically the amount of force that we apply, force per unit area applied on a material is called stress, right? And there's also something called a breaking stress or ultimate tensile stress, which is nothing but how much can a material take, how much force can a material take before it breaks, right? So that's called the breaking stress or ultimate tensile stress. And why is it important to understand? Because I think many times we kind of like think anything and any little thing that happens, we feel that is just stress. So I feel it's important to understand, what does really stress mean, and am I really affected by it? If I am, what is the cause, what are the factors that are at play, are very important to understand. It can't be a blanket solution which says, okay, stress, stress, no, 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 I need to be a lot more peaceful. Yes, indeed, that is the end solution, that we need to be peaceful. But there are multiple parameters that are at play, and we need to understand everything before we can move towards being more peaceful. So in our day-to-day life, we understand what does it mean scientifically. In physics, we know what it means. Now, what does it mean on our day-to-day life if a human being, if I am experiencing stress, what does that mean? It is indeed created by us. And when do we create it? It is created by us when a problem seems to be bigger than our ability to handle. So, for example, you know, there is a person in our life and we find it very difficult to get along with this person. Could be at work, or we feel, or could be our extended family, somebody in our extended family. And sometimes it could be somebody in our immediate family that we constantly have issues getting along with them. So that is like a force, any kind of situation, a individual person which seems like too much for us to handle. Meaning, I cannot handle or get along with someone. I cannot handle either a work, a particular situation in my life. That situation could be work related, relationship related, or it could be health related, finance related, anything, right? Any external circumstance is a force that life is throwing at all of us, right? There's not a single person who is not being hit by a variety of different situations. So you could call it pressure, you could call it force, but when does it, doesn't mean each one of us experiences stress the moment that force is applied, right? If we think about it, there is not a single person in this world to whom this force is not applied, right? Everyone has something or the other in their life. Now, some might actually have really, really big ones in their life, really big issues, yet they don't feel any stress because they feel they can handle it. Their ability to handle is so strong, their coping mechanism is so strong that they don't experience stress at all. So, if we really want to understand the two factors that are in play here, are really the force and really the area, which is us, my emotional health. How much can it take before it starts complaining, before it starts getting affected negatively, are these two factors. So the external factors that come to our life, really not so much in our control. We cannot control it. They will keep coming. What is really in my control is my emotional. How do I build up my inner power, my own abilities, so that I can take this constant pressure that comes towards me. So now if we, with this understanding, when does stress get created? What is the root cause of stress? If we ask this question, how would you respond to it? So this is a question for you. What is the root cause of stress? Given this definition, when do we start experiencing stress?
When we are not cope up with something happening externally.
Yes, one is when we feel we just don't have the strength to take this up, right? It's too big of a challenge. What are some other factors?
I think
Something is
sometimes
not.
we are overwhelmed with a lot of things, and we don't have ability to say no to.
Yes, absolutely, right? So there are two things here at play. And indeed, we have taken up too many responsibilities. At work, we just have too much. Our plate is full. At home, again, we've signed up for a lot of things. We like to do everything on our own, and could be for multiple factors. One, because really we don't have any help, we can't afford any help, or we can't get any help. Or it could be that I have my own ego. Nobody in the house knows how to do things like I like to do. They don't know how to clean properly, they don't know how to chop properly, they don't know how to cook properly. So I am keeping all the work at home with me, and at work things keep piling and piling. I have not even an option to say no, because everybody in my team seems to have a lot. And social circle, again, with thanks to technology, or I should say, not so much thank you to technology, the social circle is just out of control. Everybody is now connected, especially now during COVID. The connections have become even more stronger because we don't have any other way to socialize. Sometimes the social circle also becomes a huge responsibility. If I am someone who's connected to a lot of people, say I'm involved in many people's life, I'm trying to help everyone, there's only so much capacity each one of us has, right? After which the body starts speaking. It gets tired, it needs its maintenance, it needs its proper sleep. It also needs to disconnect. The mind also needs to disconnect and rest. If I make the mind super active throughout the day, I'm making the mind and body very busy in gazillions of things I am doing, then yes, stress will be high, even if I have learned some good coping mechanism. So it aggravates, obviously, if this is growing like crazy and this is decreasing, because stress is nothing but everything external pressure divided by the surface area, which is my ability. So if the numerator is very high and the denominator is going lower and lower, obviously stress is going to be very, very high. And this, I think each one of us must have seen examples. We find people in our life where small little change in their life will cause them to stress like anything. One little change in their routine and they're all worked up. They're all worked up. Oh my gosh, how am I going to adjust to this? This is again new thing. I don't think I can handle it. And some people, I think very few people, but we would know them, where they keep, life keeps throwing at them challenges after challenges. Oh my gosh, suddenly they find out they have to move all the way to a different country because of the job responsibility or something like that, or they have to move because of some personal reasons. Yet there's no stress. So indeed, if this coping skills, if my denominator is a big number, then automatically the end result, numerator by denominator, stress will be lower, right? So if I have good coping abilities, a strong emotional health, my aura is very, very positive and strong, automatically these responsibilities could be gazillion, they're not going to shake me very easily. Right? So we need to work on both, check what is on our plate, because we seem to be piling and piling and hoarding. Don't want to give up anything. Oh, no, I can't give that up. that is also needed, that is also important, this is also important. I need to take my kids to hundreds of things, it's very important. I need to be involved in this organization, I need to be involved in that organization, I need to be part of this circle, I need to be part of that circle, everything. And then you hear from your friend about something else, I need that too. So then when we get into this where the numerator is becoming bigger and bigger, and I'm not taking care of my emotional health at all, then automatically stress will be experienced a lot more by us. If you're not talking, please mute yourself. There is some background noise. Thank you. And just wanted to kind of go over a few things on what sustains stress. You know, many times we feel that others are responsible for our stress. There is this belief, this strong belief that if not for this one person in my life, or if not for this one particular task in my life, or two tasks, or if not for this job in my life, this manager in my life, I am actually a very peaceful person. So automatically, when we put the responsibility of stress on someone else, that someone else could be people, could be life, could be world, who knows, right? We have long stories and we share it with sometimes with our friends. So whenever we are doing something like that, if I am not responsible for stress, then somebody else needs to cure it, right? They're the ones who are causing stress to come in me. So if they don't cause it, then I will not create stress. So in BRAHMAKUMARIS, we are taught again and again, so important to acknowledge that I am creating the stress. We are not trying to say that these people are easy or life sometimes does seem challenging. We are not trying to discount any of that. But the bottom line is, I need to learn some better mechanism to handle. Each one of us has a variety of challenge. And the grass seems greener many times. So we feel, you know, everybody else has easy. Mine is the only one that is difficult. And then we start blaming others for stress. Then stress will keep growing because these people, suppose, you know, I figure out a very nice way and I am completely cut off from this individual now, or I changed my job. Oh gosh, that manager gone. Now stress is gone. But what have I done? I have not changed the denominator at all. I've not changed my emotional strength. I continue to be weak meaning I continue to react negatively around certain people, like my manager. Guess what? Somebody else similar or worse will come again. And there again, the stress comes back. And sometimes we are so busy trying to clean up the numerator. You know, oh, this person, avoid them. This person, don't do that. Stop doing this. Stop doing that. And we never look at the denominator, which is my emotional well-being, my aura. Day by day, is it becoming weaker? So what is in my control? It is really the denominator is the biggest one, my emotional strength. How do I respond? That's the thing that I need to work on. And yes, the numerator also to some extent is in our control, which is really, we might be hoarding and we might be piling up too many things on our plate. So yes, we need to decrease the quantity because there's only so much. And yes, once we decrease the quantity and we start working on the denominator ourselves, we start improving our inner strength, then we can slowly keep increasing the numerator too. But a weak self cannot handle too many things. It will automatically experience stress. So we need to first really work on ourselves and take the responsibility. First step in really overcoming stress is to acknowledge that I am the one that is creating stress, this discomfort around certain situations in life. I am not able to handle them with elegance, with peace, with happiness. I get mentally and emotionally disturbed. And that is what is stress. Another belief that grows stress is we start saying stress is normal, natural. It's the way of life. Nobody is free of stress. Obviously, everybody is stressed. Stress is the new norm. If I have that kind of a belief system, again, stress is not going anywhere because I'm constantly emanating this aura. Stress is normal. I am stressed. Stress is natural. What is it saying? It is saying stress can never be overcome. It is part of me, a strong part of me. It cannot be separated from me. That is why it is natural. And it is a question to ask, if it was so natural, end of the day when I go to sleep, am I happy when I'm stressed? Or am I hoping and wanting and praying to be peaceful so that I can fall asleep? None of us will say, right? Oh my gosh, I am so peaceful today. If I had some stress, I could actually fall off asleep. I could fall asleep better. No, right? We actually, our normal, our natural self is peace. And because we are not able to experience it because of the big numerator and the small denominator, we are experiencing stress more naturally. That is a different story. It has become very common. It is being experienced by many, but it's not natural because anything that is natural is very comfortable. We want to keep it. We can't be without it. And that is peace. For me, even this, when I started my spiritual journey at BRAHMAKUMARIS, even this simple thought, I'm a peaceful being. Peace is my natural quality. I'm naturally peaceful. I would say these few things with full faith in me. And this experiment I did for few weeks, I can't tell you how much peace I started experiencing. And I was one of the persons who experienced stress a lot. Even now, the stress is there. The intensity has reduced significantly. And if I don't pay enough attention, I can again become very stressful. But now, because of this many years of meditation and various different practices and attention, I can catch the moment I am going towards stress and correct it immediately. And majority of the times, I don't stress out easily. Yes, I have a long way to go, but one of the baby steps I took is early in the morning, first thing, I am naturally peaceful. Peace is my way of being, my way of life. Peace is within me. I am filled with peace. This was my early morning thoughts. And it had a huge impact in my life where during a very busy day, suddenly I would feel this inner silence, this deep peace within me. And I could just reach out to it and relax. Yes, Meghna, there's a lot to do today, but with peace, you'll be able to get through it a lot easily. So I would start emerging that voice that would keep calling me, Meghna, you're peaceful, you're naturally peaceful. And the more I would reach out to that inner voice, which called me a peaceful being, the more easier my day-to-day work became. Any questions or thoughts so far? I know I'm talking a lot, but this was an important slide, I feel. If we don't take care of this and we try to learn how to overcome stress, and if we keep all of these beliefs and roadblocks in our life, then whatever steps we adopt, we will be back to square one again. So it's very important to cut these incorrect beliefs, if you all agree, from our life. That is when we can take the next step on now what do I do? Any questions? Please go ahead.
So, how do we start our day without stress? Like you mentioned that having a peaceful morning. What are some tips and technique for that?
Yeah. If some of you might have attended the webinar yesterday, the sister really talked very well about it. But let me just share, this is what we all do. What she shared was a practice that each one of us maintains. Everything has a foundation. The foundation needs to be strong. I think we all know it. The breakfast is the most important meal. Everybody says, eat like a king in the morning, right? And then like a rich person, maybe for lunch, but eat like a beggar or a poor person in the dinner. So the most important meal is considered breakfast for the body. And we try to include fruits, juice, healthy, whole grains and things like that. Now, when we think about the mind, its foundation is also early morning. It's like a sponge. Whatever you put in it, whole day it will be radiating that. So early in the morning, if I get up and open my email, work email, what does work email say? You have a lot of work, you have a lot of meetings, you will never be able to be done. There's so much to do because you have always hundreds of emails that are unread, many invites and chats and things like that. So if I expose my mind to some kind of information which is negative or waste, then whole day mind will keep creating that same kind of energy because the foundation is that. You eat a heavy meal in the morning, whole day you will feel lazy. And we do that. Sometimes we do indulge, which is okay. And generally we do it during vacation because we know we don't have to do too much. But it is our own natural experience. Unless we burn it out, we will feel lazy. That same heavy energy will be emitted by the body will feel heavy, even though you might not be heavy, you might be skinny person, but if you had a heavy breakfast, you will find it difficult to move. Even that light skinny body, it will seem heavy. So if I pour all kinds of negative thoughts early in the morning, read social media, it's full of junk news. I did this, I did that, I went there, I did this. What are you doing? What is news filled with? Negativity. What are emails telling at work? There's too much to do and very little time. So if I expose my mind to this kind of food early in the morning, whole day it will create. Be fearful, bad can happen, bad can happen. Or it'll keep saying others are doing so much better. They're going to vacations, they are going to good places to eat, they seem to be having good life, you are having nothing. Or it'll say there's so much to do, there's so much work, and what are you doing? There's so much to do. So yes, very, very important. What do I feed myself early in the morning? Positive thoughts, meditation. If you don't yet have the habit of meditation, want to learn it, we BRAHMAKUMARIS is starting a Raj Yoga meditation course for free next week. Um, we have all kinds of classes and webinars, a lot of tips on how to meditate. If not anything, at least listen to some music that has motivational words, some song which inspires you, motivates you, something that brings you to a higher energy. Don't do anything that will depress you, anger you, irritate you, or stress you out early in the morning. If that is the energy mind creates first thing in the morning, it will do it throughout the day. Then this is exactly what I was talking about, distractions. A lot of us believe in multitasking, and I'm sure many of you might already be aware there's a lot of research which is already proven that multitasking is very, very harmful. We are trying to be extremely efficient multitasking. We are on the phone, on work chat, and at the same time reading emails, and then there's some interruption, somebody else coming and talking. We We might be, who knows, even cooking in the kitchen at that time, doing all of these things. These distractions will increase the stress. The biggest reason being, when a mind is distracted, the quality is automatically impacted. We tend to focus on quantity and we feel with multitasking we can take care of 10 things. So we say yes to 10 things. And time is always a limit, right? We don't have unlimited time. Each one of us is doing way too many things. So limited time, I have 10 things to do. What will I do? I will compromise on the quality automatically. It's not intentional. Mistakes will happen when we are multitasking. You will say things that you didn't mean to because of that speed. And then that increases the stress, because if you say something which you didn't mean to, or you created something which is not of high standard, automatically what happens? This one goes down, the self-esteem goes down, the denominator becomes weak. My confidence goes down when my quality of interaction, my quality of work, whatever I am doing is poor. Means what? My confidence goes down, my belief in the self goes down. I start feeling emotionally even more weak when the quality is down. And then automatically stress is more, because if my denominator is dropping day by day, the stress I will experience, numerator does not need to change. It can be the same list. In fact, it can even reduce. But if my denominator, my emotional strength is dropping day by day, my confidence, my self-esteem, then stress is automatically very, very high. One other important point is non-stop transactional work. We are actually, today's class is really building up the foundation to understand stress at a very deep level. What are the different things that are at play? Once we understand all of these different aspects, we start bringing our family and everyone into this, and then talk about how do we as a parent then handle this. We need to first and understand it at the individual level before we bring out more stress into this whole equation. So non-stop transactional work, which I think for me, at least, I am a program manager and managing many different projects. I work with many teams who are called stakeholders. I'm sure you're all aware of these terms. And what my work has really become, again, not me wanting to pile on and hoard on to many things, but it's become the new norm, you can call it, or whatever. Whoever I talk to at work, everybody's plate is way over full. And it's not even like manager wants us to do so much. They do want us to have this work-life balance, but even it's beyond them. How do we cut down work? They're doing meetings after meetings for that, and they're not coming up with an answer, right? And my work, typically what it has become is, okay, 1 minute I'm on an email, then some chat is coming at me, I'm talking there, and then I'm trying to do the actual work, something else comes. So I'm constantly juggling. And at the same time, we are all at home, working from home. So at home, I have kids. I have to make sure that the lunch and everything else is ready and things are happening. So there is so much on our plate. And all my life, I was just watching my life this last few months. I've literally have become a transactional worker. I feel I'm doing one task, done, 5-10 minutes, then something else and something else. There is no a span of work like for an hour. That attention span of 1 hour of work is not there at all, because there's so much distraction. And it's not really that I have caused it purposefully. Sometimes I think we do it. I am not on any social media, for example. I don't have work email on my phone. I've done that for a reason. Luckily, my job does not require me to have work email on my phone. So I've kept it like that. But in spite of that, people expect you to respond to the chat and emails very quickly these days. So now, once I realized that how much I've become like a transactional worker, like moving every 5 minutes from here to there, sometimes not even 5 minutes, you get on something, you move on to something else. So now I have done this, that every day I will come and check my email quickly and see if there is any big red flag that needs to be responded immediately. And then after that, I take my one big thing that I need to work on that day, and 1 hour straight, sometimes 2 hours straight, I will not check my email or my chat. Again, I'm not doing a kind of job which requires me. I'm not in the SRE world where you need to constantly check if there's an escalation or if there is a fire on the server or something like that issue. So my work allows me to do that. So now I don't. And yes, there are people chatting and pinging and expecting, but nothing is so urgent that they can't wait. So I take care to increase my attention span at work. And it's not like I'm goofing around or playing around, I'm doing actual work. But that work that is continuous and not which is constantly distracted. So then I can come up with creative ideas and produce better quality work. But if I'm constantly 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, what will my final output be? Yes, I will get the task done, but I can never be fully proud of it. I can only be proud that I got it done in time and it is reasonable. But the real self-esteem, the denominator increases. My confidence increases when I produce something magical, innovative, mind-blowing. And that will not happen if I'm doing non-stop transactional work. So it's very important, whether it is at home or at work, we can't be constantly moving from one thing to other every 5 minutes. It tires the mind. It takes away our focus and concentration. One of my colleagues at work was sharing with me. He was a voracious reader. I might not be saying the word right, but really someone who loved reading. Every week at least one book he would read. And he says, Meghna, in this last few years of work, now I can't even complete any book easily because my attention span is not there. A book requires you to continuously read and understand and move forward, right? And he says he can't do that anymore. Why? Because we are exposing ourselves to 5 minutes. I can't be on anything for more than 5 minutes. My mind immediately says, no, why are you spending so much time? Move to the next thing. And then it comes to a state where we actually have a weekend and maybe we don't have anything big planned that day. Yet this mind will pull me, Meghna, do this, Meghna, do that. What about this? What about that? Every 5 minutes, I am juggling. This causes stress to increase a lot. We need to work on few things at home and at work, which are more than few minutes. At least 15-20 minutes we should start with, that I will do this and this only. And maybe some of you are already doing it. I was just talking about my own story where it's just the amount of emails and chats and distractions, not my own created distractions, but this is just outside the way the world has become, at work, at home, everywhere, that you cannot have even few minutes to work on one thing that you want to move forward, right? So multitasking, non-stop, working on small things and switching gears, all of these things increase stress a lot. Any thoughts or questions before I move on to the next slide? All right. Really wanted to talk about, what our end goal is from this class. We might be in any of these three categories, the way we are coping up with the pressures of life, forces of life. And I would really not call it force or pressure. I feel these are really good things. We need them to grow stronger. Otherwise, we never can become as strong. Our inner potential will never grow till we call life to be a force or a pressure. But just to kind of understand it scientifically, I am saying it. To me, life is beautiful. Whatever it throws, that's my philosophy, that life is beautiful. Whatever is coming my way is the most beautiful thing. There is a hidden agenda behind it, which has a profound meaning, and I need to understand it. That's the way I look at it. Now, three ways to handle the pressures that come, the external pressures that come to our life. And homework for you all is really to reflect and understand where you might be, in which category you might be. First category is fragile. And we know about these materials, right? Like glass, little of pressure. In fact, not even pressure, you maybe put it down little bit with force, it will break apart, right? Very easy to break glass. It's a material which is extremely fragile. So when I talk about an individual, a small change in life, little thing in my life can make me go easily very, very negative. Meaning I become extremely anxious, worried, sad, depressed. I almost break down. So, and I might be living a life of depression majority of the times. This is a fragile state, that I have reached a fragile state. Second category is strained, where constant pressure, like this rope, it's not broken apart yet. It's still there. Because why? Because it was able to adapt to that pressure. It was elastic. It had some elasticity in it. So it could stretch. It got deformed. But yet it did not break. Remember, we talked about this ultimate tensile stress, right? So how much pressure before I completely have a nervous breakdown? You might have heard these days, one of my friends, they work in a hospital, and when they're talking about how many kids end up with a nervous breakdown in hospitals. Why? Because of the constant pressures in school related to academic, sports, social pressure, all of these things. And maybe sometimes unknowingly, parents also add that pressure. The many kids, young kids, reaching a hospital with nervous breakdown, utter like a state. It's almost like this complete emotional exhaustion, mental exhaustion. You can call it bankruptcy, emotionally bankrupt. They don't have anything inside. It's a complete state of breakdown. That is called the ultimate tensile stress. And if we think about it here, so we typically, majority of the folks are in this strained category. And this also has a huge, what should I say, a huge layer there. It could be a strained at level 1 versus strained at level 100. There could be a huge range here. So the bottom line here is there are a lot of pressures coming in my life. For example, a lot of responsibilities at work, they have increased. And at home also, I seem to have a lot more on my plate. For example, early age kids, when they are young, we have a lot of different kind of challenges. And once they grow up and they're becoming little independent, different kind of challenges. Teenagers, a whole lot different. So yes, everywhere there's a lot of pressure coming my way, and I am adjusting to it. And I am doing everything. I'm handling whatever is at work. I've not left work yet. I'm coping with my kids, with my family, or whatever that is. But I have started to complain a lot, meaning my inner composition has deformed. It is no more someone who can do everything with lot of stability. My stability is shaking while I'm doing it. I'm doing everything at work, but I'm complaining. Oh my gosh, how much more? When will this end? Will this ever end? And then at home, I'm doing for family everything, but there's a lot of complaint. I'm doing, no one appreciates. I don't know if they will ever appreciate. I don't know why I keep signing up for so many things. Not only complaining internally, I might even be going and talking to 10 other people, telling them about my strained life, how stressful life has become. This is basically a strained state. And in that state, if I continue to be in that state and I don't take care of my emotional health, I don't even know what it means to take care of myself emotionally and mentally. And guess what? In each one of our lives, especially during this pandemic, we've seen that the pressure has increased. The numerator has become bigger. We are not getting any outlet, to kind of be emotionally more happy or mentally, whatever ways we had, those have become limited now with this pandemic. And the pressures have increased. Majority of the people say work in the office has increased because everybody has nothing else to do but work. So if everybody is working harder, means what? Automatically my work increases. Plus, when we interact with people, person to person, things are different. Now everything is through email. Work has become difficult. Family used to get break from each other. Now every day, day in and day out, family is seeing each other. There are a lot of things that are being said which are not that pleasant. So external pressure is increasing. I am doing nothing to take care of myself, my emotional health, meaning my denominator is becoming smaller and smaller. This strained category is reaching its peak and will move to the fragile state. And I might have many nervous breakdowns. Last category, resilient. I have seen few people, and my aspiration is to become like that. And I can very humbly say that yes, from this trained category, I am moving towards this. Day by day, I can see that. I still have a very long way to go. Why? Not because the pressures have decreased for me. In fact, I have signed up for a lot more than what I used to do. 6 years back, I used to think my life was fully packed. I had no time for anything. And sometimes on Fridays, I would sit and wonder, oh my gosh, I am so tired, exhausted. I didn't do any physical work. I didn't have a huge physical workout. It was okay. Why am I so tired and exhausted? And I would just say, okay, maybe I have too much on my plate. And then I would rest and come out and I'll be okay. Now, 6 years later, I have everything is doubled for me on the numerator side. Work, there's just way too much to do than what I had before. At home, a lot more. Because I cook everything by my own. I am a lot more about cleanliness, because if you start doing meditation and everything, outside environment has a huge impact. So I am a lot more about cleanliness. Good meal, healthy meal helps in emotional health. So I am cooking a lot more. Everything at home has increased. And yes, I do volunteer a lot more. So everywhere, my work has doubled. The numerator has doubled. But yet, majority of the times, I don't feel stress. Why? Because I've been working on my inner being and I've not reached this state of resilient. I'm working towards it, but I have seen few people in our organization that they are so solid. They have so much on their plate. They are constantly smiling and taking up everything. They will not lose a moment of helping others. Even though they themselves have hundreds of things to finish, yet if somebody comes to ask for help, hey, can you help me with this? I don't know. They will smilingly go there and help. so much of this inner strength. They have full confidence that whatever it is, we can handle it, we can take care of it. Not a single negative feeling inside, even though the pressure of life keeps increasing on them. They have such inner power and confidence that nothing shakes their emotional stability. And that is the state. How do you reach that inner being, that strong inner being? Indeed, it is a journey to reach there. And this next 3 classes are really about talking about those solutions, small changes, bigger changes. What are those changes we make so that, when we are parenting, which is not an easy thing at all, it is something that you learn. Literally, it's a lab. Our house is a lab where we are just right there learning everything. It's not like you practice somewhere and then go and perform. It's live, happening all the time. So you need to be prepared so that you don't experience stress while parenting, but you really enjoy it. You find it like an experience, a beautiful experience. But that comes when we reach this stage. With that, we are all out of time today. Any one last minute thought or question? Happy to take that. Otherwise, we can practice meditation for a minute if you have the time to stay back. All right. If you have the time, please stay back and we'll just do a minute of meditation. I am a pure, peaceful, and a courageous being. I maintain unshakable faith in the self. No matter what comes my way, I can handle it. I can learn. I can grow. I can improve. Every lesson that life throws my way is a stepping stone for my progress. I maintain faith in myself and in life. My peaceful personality will help me handle everything gracefully, elegantly, and accurately. And wherever there is room for learning and growing, I, the humble being, will learn from my most beautiful mentor, life. Thank you everyone for joining us today at BRAHMAKUMARIS. Hope you have a peaceful and wonderful day. I will see you again next week at same time.
Thank you. Om Shanti Megha. Thank you.
Om Shanti sister, thank you.
There's one beautiful 21-day spiritual challenge starting tomorrow. There are links on the chat. Feel free to join us tomorrow. Very interesting program that is starting tomorrow. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, sister.
Om Shanti, Sister Megha.
Om Shanti, everyone.
Om Shanti, sister.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, sister. Thank you.
Om Shanti, everyone.
Om Shanti, Sister.
Om Shanti, everyone.